Hello, I'm Todd Higgins at East Gaston High School with Brandon Taylor and Hayden Dillard, and they are two reasons why the arts are fine in Gaston County schools. Dillard is with me. He is a student here at East Gaston High School. And Hayden, let's talk about your involvement in music. How did you become involved and what sparked your interest?
So growing up, my dad actually was a musician. He studied music in college, and then right after college, he moved to Chicago. So, going from Belmont to Chicago was big for him, and he learned a lot up there, and then eventually ended up moving back to North Carolina, and then had me, and he kind of just taught me everything I know.
So you have been around music all of your life?
Yes.
And you told me about a piano sitting in your house, and you would walk by the piano, you would see the piano, and one day you just decided to try to play it.
Yeah, so we had a piano in the living room, and then we'd have like guitars hanging on the wall, or there'd be like a trumpet laying on the kitchen table every once in a while. So eventually walking past them every day, you pick one of them up and learn it. So
all of these years you've been involved with music, and now you're here at East Gaston High School and you're very active in the marching band. So let's talk about marching band. What do you enjoy most about being a part of the band program?
So marching band is interesting because it's a very big production to put on. A lot of work goes into it, and my favorite part, honestly, is watching through the season. We show up the first day and nobody knows anything. We have to learn all the music, we have to learn all the movements we're doing on the field, and watching the whole thing come together and everyone work together to make the show is my favorite part.
So I noticed during the marching band fanfare, you had solos during the show. What was it like to have a solo and to be playing not only in front of the other members of the band, but for all of the people up in the stands?
So the thing about marching band solos is, in a marching band environment, it's one of the most difficult places to do a solo because, it happens during the summer, so it's hot. You've got this thick uniform on, your hat's like covering your eyes. So it's really difficult kind of to perform, like knowing you got a big solo coming up and you're kind of out of breath because you've been doing a lot of movements. But it's also one of the most rewarding because the shows are specifically designed to draw a reaction from the crowd. They're meant to get them excited for the football games. So, and all the solos I play, they do a good job of doing that.
Now, I can tell that when you stepped up to play your solo, it's almost like you stepped into that moment and you took on that moment and really performed for the audience. I guess you know that you've got to put on a show because they're expecting it.
Yeah, a lot of musicians, they say confidence is key. So going into it, you can't hold back anything.
What do you think is the most challenging aspect of being in a marching band?
There's a big time commitment, which is what pushes a lot of people away. And obviously memorizing everything takes a really long time. So being able to stay focused through long practices and remember everything is probably one of the hardest parts.
So what is next for Hayden Dillard? What are your future plans? What's going to happen if we were to talk with you 5 years from now? What would you tell us?
So I'm continuing to study music in college. I'm going to ECU and studying music composition, which is writing. A lot of people, they see me performing and they don't see all the writing I do because I'm not obviously on a stage doing it. But I will be studying composition, and I'm trying not to set a direct path because I want to see what opportunities come up, and that might not be writing or it might be writing, but we'll see.
And you're also going to be a part of the band program at East Carolina.
Yes.
So when it comes to writing and music composition, to me that is probably one of the most difficult aspects of being involved in music. What do you enjoy most about the composition side of music?
My favorite thing about composition is I like working with other people a lot, getting a lot of musicians together, and obviously we all like different kinds of music, we all listen to different kinds of music, and just creating something new, having all those different kind of views on what music should sound like, what instruments should be played, seeing it all come together into one track is one of my favorite things about it.
And for most people that would be very difficult. For you, not so much. It's pretty easy, right?
It's easy sometimes. It's not easy sometimes. Some days you wake up, you've got all these like ideas, and it's easy. I can just write everything down. Some days I'm sitting looking at the piano, and I'm like, I have no idea what I'm gonna put together.
So, do you see yourself 5, 10, 15 years down the road, that being a career path for you?
Hopefully, that's the plan. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the fine arts. And the fine arts, while you've been in high school, the band program, why do you think it's important for students like you to have an opportunity to be involved in a fine arts program, whether it's the band or the chorus or theater, whatever it may be? Why are the fine arts so important?
So I think anytime you have an opportunity to try something new, you should take it, because you never know what you'll learn about yourself. You might find new interests, meet new people. And the fine arts, obviously, there's different instruments you can play. If you don't like playing an instrument, you can sing. You might be good at drawing, something like that. So anytime you have an opportunity to try something new, I'd tell you to take it, because you never know what you'll find out about yourself.
So you have a trumpet solo for us that you're going to perform. Tell us a little bit about that solo, and then you've got another solo. So tell us about the trumpet first, and then tell us about your second solo.
So the trumpet solo scared me when I first got it. I've never had one quite this hard, and it was definitely like a mental thing. The first time I played it, actually, it didn't go the greatest. So it was a long journey getting this solo really worked out. And then the guitar solo, which is the other one I'm going to play, I did the same thing last year. So guitar is a little bit different. I'm a little more comfortable on it, so it's a lot easier.
Hayden Dillard, a student here at East Gaston High School, he's got a trumpet solo coming up for us. And also, we're going to check out his skills on the guitar as well. Brendan Taylor is the band director here at East Gaston High School. Mr. Taylor, it's great to see you. Thank you for being with us. And let's talk about your work as a band director. What do you enjoy most about being a band director?
What I enjoy most is probably just seeing the kids perform and the product they put on after hard work, months of hard work. Getting to see these kids come together and do this uniquely experience of playing music together and doing it at such a high level is probably my favorite part of the job. It's the thing I look forward to the most, and just seeing the kids succeed.
Okay, so when did you know that you wanted to be a band director? Is that something that you knew at an early age, or is it something that you found out in college?
Funny enough, I actually hated band my freshman year in high school. I tried to switch out of it. My counselor wouldn't let me. Thankfully, she told me it's a year-long commitment. You got to stick with it. I did band because my friends did band. I didn't want to take history or math by myself. I signed up for marching band my sophomore year and fell in love with the activity. I fell in love with the activity. I fell in love with playing music in that format, and then my band director really inspired me to be a better person, a better musician, and that kind of just put me on my trajectory to be a director. If you would have told me, freshman Brandon, that, hey, you're going to be a band director one day, I would have just laughed, because that was not what I thought was going to happen.
And we're glad it did. We are glad that it did. So let's talk about a marching band show. You have to create a show, and that comes with the staging, the music, the choreography, making many different parts fit together to put on a performance. So talk about that process. What's that like, and what do you enjoy most about it, and what challenges does putting together a marching band show, what do you face?
It's one of my favorite things to do. It's my big outlet to be creative every year. It definitely comes with some challenges. Sometimes it's easier than other years. I will say most years I have a very clear, concrete idea of what I want the marching show to be, what I want the music to be, and at the last second and at midnight something will hit me and I'm like, oh, that's the idea. Usually I pick a song or a piece of music that either inspired me or I'm like, I think that would fit well on the field, and then from there I just piece together stuff that usually I try to make the marching band shows have more of a meaning behind them, and let it kind of be interpretive. They always have titles, but it's always like, what does the music and the experience and the show mean to you? And that's probably my favorite part about marching band season, is the actual creativity side of making that marching band show. So
when you're putting a show together and you're looking for influence or ideas, where does that come from?
That is a good question. A lot of the times the music, I'll find one song that means something, or one song that I really I gel with, and I think it's a really good fit for the kids. And then from there, I try to either find other pieces of music that either fit the theme or go well. I've gotten, not in trouble, but I've had some people be like, how do you come up with these ideas? Because like the music, a lot of the times it's like, you'll have Beethoven or you'll have Dvorak, and I also have Queen and Led Zeppelin. They're like, how do you make that work? And I just think it's more about what the feeling that you get when you listen to the music rather than the genres coming together. I think it's like when you listen to the music, what do you get as an audience member? And that's kind of the way that I sit down and design my shows.
So why do you think it's important for students to be involved in a band program or any type of fine arts program?
I could be an advocate for fine arts at the high school level or all public school level, and I could go for hours. I think the main thing that the kids get from it is just the unique experience of performing at that level with their peers. There's nothing else in the school that allows them to work together and at that level with their friends and other kids, and perform music, which is something deeply human to all of us, and go through that. I could go on and on about like the higher levels of thinking and Bloom's taxonomy, and like they're using critical thinking skills and problem solving skills all at the same time and test scores. But at the end of the day, I think the biggest thing for these kids is just, it's a place they feel welcome. It's a place that they feel at home, and they can be creative and just be themselves and explore stuff in other avenues that they might not get throughout the rest of the school.
So we were talking about creating a marching band show. And when you, as a director, you have students who really can perform and excel, you like to put them out front. So with that in mind, what do you think about Hayden Dillard?
Hayden is a great kid. I remember when he first walked into the school and he started playing because he transferred in, and I was like, oh, wow, this kid's really good. And it's honestly been an honor to watch him progress over the last couple years in high school. Just to see him grow as a young man, to see him grow as a musician it's been phenomenal. Just the stuff that I see him do on his instrument impresses me. He'll pick up his horn and play something, and you'll hear later in the video him playing the marching band solo, and that's like one of the hardest solos I've seen for high school trumpet in a long time, and he's picked it up and he's played it almost perfectly every single time he's done it, and I couldn't do that. It's been an honor. He's a really talented musician, and I'm just excited to see what the future has in store for him.
You noticed that watching the marching band fanfare, you noticed what he can do playing the trumpet and the guitar and probably any other instrument that you needed him to play. He really captured the spotlight.
That he does, and I definitely, parts of those shows were designed around him, and I was fingers crossed hoping that he never got sick, because parts of those shows would have not worked without him. But it's a really cool experience to sit back and to watch all the kids perform at that level, and then to see Hayden kind of step up on that stage and perform, and to get the crowd reaction. It was well worth the amount of hours and times that I stressed over it, and the amount of hours multiplied by like 1,000 that he had to spend for practicing those parts.
Brandon Taylor is the band director here at East Gaston High School. Mr. Taylor, we appreciate everything you do for the fine arts here in Gaston County Schools. Thank you, Hayden. Thank you, Mr. Taylor, for being with us, and thank you for watching The Arts Are Fine in Gaston County Schools. I'm Todd Higgins. We look forward to seeing you next time.